All right. We are live with another episode of Tick Podcast. Feels good to be back. Oh, man, this pre-show, we got a lot to talk about as guys start to flood in. Really appreciative of everybody that continues to support us. We got a giveaway going on right now. So if you guys are interested, head on over to either Tick Podcast on Twitter or TICGN.com. The Multiverse team and the 2XP team are giving away a free copy of Sea of Thieves and the new official Sea of Thieves Xbox One controller. This controller looks pretty dope. I'm not even gonna lie. I actually asked the head of Rare, Craig Duncan, if he could send me one for Christmas. I doubt that will happen, but man, it would be awesome to get one of those. The controller
it's gotta get. They gotta give me one for my birthday. The game's coming out on my birthday. Like it's like they planned it. They planned it exactly. It's like, hey, I'll throw it on March 20th. I'm like, I even hit Craig Duncan up and Mike Chapman, who we met over at E3, and I was like, hey, it's my birthday also.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Throw a little controller my way.
It's pretty dope, man. I have to admit, like the presentation that they showed at E3 was pretty dope. Not E3, I'm bugging out. The VGAs was pretty cool. I definitely want to get into this VGA talk. We'll talk about PSX. We'll talk about Xbox 2018. We'll talk about Sea of Thieves. Waiting on B Money to get in. If B Money's available, I sent him a invite, so he should be here shortly. But if not, we'll start the show in the next 3 minutes. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to load my phone in chat so that way I can see who's talking, who's not talking, and communicate appropriately. One of the things I'm trying to do that way that my voice doesn't lag behind everybody else is not stream the chat or the show while I'm on the laptop. I've also switched over to a new service that's actually I actually have the cable downstairs in my living room. And one of the problems that I had was that I had Fios, but the Fios was upstairs in a room over my garage, which is like completely made of brick. so that signal probably was having a tough time getting down to my laptop downstairs in the living room, which is a ways. So hopefully this will help and I won't have any issues and I sound much better and much clearer coming across the stream. Let me see here real quick and try to get to the YouTube channel.
All right. So I'm sharing links right now too. Oh man, it's been a nice day here. We've been
make sure
Go
ahead, I'm listening.
Yeah, I was saying that like we got a bunch of snow yesterday, and so everyone just kind of snowed in here, and so it's been nice. Drank like 2 bottles of wine over the course of the day, playing Monster Hunter World, then Ghost Recon, and then play little Sticks, play a little Assassin's Creed. Just a very nice, chill day. It's really nice. Haven't had one of these in a while.
Yeah, man, I definitely am just gonna hold off on Monster Hunter until it comes to Xbox, man. I don't want nothing to spoil anything for me.
Oh, it's not that kind of thing though. Like it's a very interesting demo. It's not the beginning of the game. It's literally just 3 missions, and you can pick which mission you want to demo. That's it.
Yeah, that's what's
it's very much like, hey, we already have your loadout here. You're not doing any promo missions. Like you're not doing the first 30 minutes of the game. It's here's what the game is, and like a very bare bones tutorial.
Mm-hmm.
Like like the first mission, like almost like a first mission kind of thing. But then you just kind of pick it based on difficulty you want to do. It's pretty fun. I was pleasantly surprised.
That's funny. Definitely want to. I definitely want to get an opportunity to play. I just don't want to spoil it for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like when those type of games come out, I definitely want to try to hop in and be surprised in every aspect of the game. All right, so we get ready to start the show.
I was gonna say, if you're already sold on the game, then yeah, go ahead and pick it up. Don't worry about it. But like if you don't know if you're gonna be interested in it, then I mean, like, yeah, go play the beta.
Right.
Which is only available on PlayStation, but I'll give you guys a breakdown a little later in the show, so the podcast crew can get a taste for it too, because all our Xbox fans aren't going to be able to have an idea of what the game's like because of an exclusive beta.
Hey, it is what it is. That's how it is when you have the top selling Japanese console on the market for now. All right, let's get the show started, man. A lot of Xbox fans are here waiting for us to get talking about Xbox and what's going on. Once again, I want to thank everybody for stopping in. Make sure you give us a thumbs up, and let's get the show started. Here we go. Welcome to the Inner Circle Podcast, the premier podcast for Xbox. I'm your host, KLSKL, with Anchorman V.
Hey, everybody.
And, of course, B Money 101, who unfortunately isn't here right now. And we are the Inner Circle. Man, so much happened over the past couple of days. I'm so excited to talk about so much stuff. The VGAs just dropped. And, you know, I'm really impressed with what they've done with the VGAs. I know a lot of people kind of hate Jeff Keighley. They think he's a big fanboy for PlayStation. Obviously, he's a big fanboy for Kojima, without question. But listen, here at Tick, he's always been a solid friend to us. Me and Jeff actually talk privately in DMs, pause. As every once in a blue moon, he'll hit me up, he'll ask me what's going on with Xbox, have I spoke to Phil, yada yada, one of those type of things. Really cool guy, very supportive of the podcast and everything. But I must say that I've been impressed with the last 2 years of the VGAs. I really have. Not so much with the awards themselves, but a few years back when they had I forget his name, the guy that used to be on Talk Soup. I used to like that guy. He was also on I think Parks and Rec or one of those shows on NBC back in the day. And they had him hosting the show, just him by himself, and no audience or anything like that. And he was cracking jokes and stuff. And it was terrible. I remember talking about the show and how bad it was. There was no audience. There was nobody to bounce jokes off of. The people who were actually, the filming crew were the ones that were laughing. And it's kind of gone from like this little show where I don't want to say it's low budget or undermine anything, but now it's I feel like it's like on the level of the Emmy Awards or something. Like you're going to the Oscars when you go to this award show.
Yeah, it's legit now. Like they made it feel like an actual awards show, which is definitely an improvement. I mean, like especially with Jeff Keighley in particular. Keep in mind, like what you're saying before, like back in 2015, it was basically just like a very, very small audience. Like we're talking maybe 100 people, and them just standing in front of various sets and just kind of announcing winners, and that was kind of it. And like every year, it progressively gets better. Like, yeah, there's always a problem or two, but the next year they address it and they fix it. Like, last year was like Schick Hydrobot, and everyone was like, this corporate sponsor is ridiculous.
It was bad. I remember early on it being really, really bad. And now it's just on a completely whole another level. And the great thing about that, out of everything, is like this stuff isn't even being broadcast on public television. Like you're watching these award shows on, streaming gaming channels like Mixer and Twitch and YouTube and things like that. So really impressed with Jeff Keighley and how far the show has come. And I really have to say the suit and tie thing was huge. It just really felt professional. It looked professional. The awards looked like real awards. I remember then the VGA used to have like a monkey with a crown on it or something like that. That
was a term of Spike. That was like weird.
That was Spike, right? It was like weird back in the day. And now you have an official award, like the damn thing looks like an Oscar almost. It's got wings on the back, it's all metallic looking. It's pretty dope, man. I'm just hats off to the team and the guys out there that really brought this show to a whole nother level. And what it really does is it kind of legitimizes the award show, and that, you know, you always have a website that gives an award here, or you have some website that gives an award here for their favorite game or whatever, but there's never been an official award show. And I really feel like this is the official awards, and people may not care about that, but that's a big deal to the developers. It's a big deal to the studio, and it's a big deal to gamers who, if you're following the people who are winning the awards, you know that that is a quality studio that consistently gets awards. You really have to start treating these studios like we treat movie studios. Like, you know, if Legendary is dropping a movie, or if it's Universal, or if it's Warner Brothers, that is probably something big, something that has big financial backing, and it may be possibly a really good film. You know what I'm saying? So it shows a lot at how far that has come, and really impressed with that overall.
Yeah, and like like I was saying before, like it gets better every year. And I think like the problem this year was namely just like it felt too long. It was 3 hours long, and a lot of it was like, for me, like the corporate sponsors had to be there because they're funding the show. Like, I got it. Like, it was a little too much, in my opinion, but like that was a necessary evil. I get that. And I think a lot of it had to do with just time allotment still. Like, they go for a while, and like some things felt way too long, and some things were like, okay, you literally had like 4 or 5 awards be announced in like a 1-minute period. Yeah, it was like, oh, by the way, best RPG, best strategy game, best blank, blank, and just like, okay.
Yeah, I think they were just trying to get some of like, they probably had the show earlier before they actually started sort of like recording like a pre-show with pre-awards for some studios that got awards. But for the big companies and the big studios and the big awards, they put it on television. I think that's kind of what they did. So they announced it kind of early. But listen, let's jump in. Excuse me. Let's jump into what happened at the award show. First and foremost, shout out and big congratulations to Studio MDHR. These guys walked away with 3 awards. They won Best Indie, Best Debut Indie, and Best Art Direction. Really impressed with what they've done, and they had some really stiff competition. Cuphead just goes to show you that, you know, when you have faith in a product and you have the right backing and the right support, you can go a long way. It took them forever to drop this game. We talked about Cuphead for years on Tick Podcast. We didn't know when this game was going to come out. The crazy thing about it is this game was announced before Below and released before Below, and we still don't know when Below's going to come out, if it's ever going to come out. That game probably was canceled at this point. But the fact that it got 3 awards is a big deal, and that's huge for Studio MDHR. And this is one of the reasons why we feel like Microsoft needs to purchase this studio. You know what I'm saying? Right out of the gate, these guys homes up, mortgaged their homes, and took money out of their own homes because they had that much faith in the quality product that they were putting out to finance the game. And with the backing of the Idea Xbox program, the guys over at Valve for Steam, they hit it out the park. And it's been a huge success for them. And I'm hearing that they're putting in bosses that they had to take out. I hear there's DLC coming for this game. Have already begun working on their next project. So I'm really excited about what MDHR is going to be doing in the future.
Oh, definitely. They have the creativity in that studio to make some really good stuff. Like, just again, like if you haven't played Cuphead, first of all, you need to pick that up. Like, it's on sale right now over the weekend. Like, just pick it up. And like, it was like $20 before. It's less than $20 now. Pick it up. Like, but if you see some of the boss designs and you see the transitions and just the stages of the bosses and just how creative it gets, it's absolutely insane. It's amazing. Like, really, they need these guys. It needs to happen.
Like, I don't want to hear. This is the problem that I have with Microsoft sometimes, is because you see them out here talking about how they're looking to purchase studios. They're going to be investing more in first party. They're going to be opening up new studios. But my biggest gripe is that you have studios that are producing quality projects right in front of you. And again, it does have to do with whether that studio wants to be purchased. A studio has to want to be bought. A studio has to want to be interested in being purchased, because you give up a lot of control once you become purchased. And Studio MDHR right now, they're in a position where the world is theirs. You know, you just walked out the gate with your first title being a hit. You got 3 awards at the award show. You probably broke 1 million sales by now at this point, maybe, or close to 1 million sales by the end of the year.
They said they broke 1 million.
Yeah,
I know that much.
So you've already gone platinum. And to top it all off, you're probably working on your next. Like, your question now is, do you want to be purchased? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, 100% of the profit belongs to you. You understand what I'm saying? Do you want to be purchased? But then again, there's you know, some things that come with working with a studio, that a publisher, because you're able to get funding. You're able to get marketing things paid for that doesn't have to come out your pocket. So you may own, you might have more finances invested into yourself and your family and things like that. So there's some drawbacks to, you know, being purchased and stuff like that. But if I'm them, I definitely would maybe hold off. If I'm Microsoft, I'm doing everything in my power to buy that studio, without question.
Yeah, they definitely got it. And like, let's see, what else is Xbox? Xbox walked away with well, not Xbox, but PUBG walked away with best multiplayer game.
PUBG walked away with best multiplayer game for this year.
Obviously,
the thing that caught me by surprise more than anything. I'm sorry, give me 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was definitely one of the things that was not a surprise, but I think it was such a weird time though to see how PUBG, like, they literally broke all the rules to get PUBG in there, and PUBG won an award. And the weird part about it was that PUBG, they didn't even announce that PUBG won until like 2 days later. Like, oh
right.
Yeah, PUBG won best multiplayer. Like, even on their own website, they didn't announce a winner.
Yeah, the thing with PUBG though, and they have stiff competition with Fortnite, which I'm surprised that was Fortnite even nominated?
Yeah, they got nominated for best multiplayer and lost.
Yeah, because Fortnite, for a free-to-play game, they've really given the PUBG crowd and the PUBG developers some stiff competition. But obviously, a lot of people are going to gravitate to PUBG when it drops. But here's the great thing.
I'm not even sure about that. I'm not even sure about that, because if they announced the numbers, they said, "Oh, we had 30 million players on a free-to-play game, on a free-to-play game with no buy-in." First off, and then they said, "Oh, yeah, we hit our peak number of 1 million people playing concurrently." It's like, this is a free-to-play game on all systems. It's on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and they got 1 million people concurrently. And you got PUBG with 2 million people daily playing concurrently, and it's only on PC.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But I think that once it hits the Xbox, a lot of people will gravitate from Fortnite to PUBG. I think the only advantage Fortnite has is the fact that it's free. I really feel like people play Fortnite as a warm-up to PUBG. That's really one of the reasons why a lot of people play Fortnite, kind of to get that feel of what PUBG could possibly be like and stuff like that. I can't wait to get my hands on it. But here's what's crazy thing. I was trying to say before I was interrupted by my dog. What was crazy to me about the whole PUBG situation wasn't the fact that it won an award, or the fact that, you know, they've been working with Microsoft, they announced a new map, was the introduction of when the head of Bluehole comes out and he's on stage and he's talking about there's a surprise. It's like, here's a trailer and here's another surprise coming up behind it. And the trailer drops, and it's the PUBG trailer, and they're showing the desert map. And then a few minutes after that, now listen, when they showed that map, it's obviously the PC version that they're showing, but they also include the release date for the preview program version for Xbox One on 12/12 as the guy's parachuting through the sky. Now that video ends, so that's kind of like a double commercial for both PC and Xbox. An Xbox commercial comes on after, pretty much the same trailer, but the only difference is it comes on, it says only on Xbox.
And this is with no qualifying statements around it too. Like it didn't say this holiday, just says only on Xbox.
Right. It didn't say anything about, holiday 2017 or, a timed exclusive or first on. It just came right out and said only on Xbox. The last time I seen a only on Xbox was on like an original OG Xbox actual retail box. So I was very caught off guard by that, especially with all the talk about how the game could possibly come into PS4 in the future. Microsoft was supposedly trying to buy the studio. They was talking about extending the exclusivity of it. And I kind of feel like they might have actually secured this game exclusively as a console exclusive on their platform, period. Now, how true that is, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Until somebody comes out and clarifies, yes, it's coming to PC or it's coming to, it's not PC, excuse me. Yes, it's coming to PS4, it's coming to Switch or whatever. Then until then, right now, I'm kind of looking at this thing almost like it's exclusive. And I'm always trying to correct people like, hey, don't make a fool of yourself and say this is exclusive, then it comes out and it's actually timed or it's coming to PlayStation at a later date. And you're sitting up there boasting about exclusives. What's the point of saying on stage, oh, we have a surprise for everybody, please watch after, and then you see the Xbox commercial? Why run two commercials back to back and then have the actual game say only on Xbox? Now, on top of that, you don't see when Microsoft is promoting the game, you don't see them say, like a timed console exclusive or whatever. It just says exclusively on Xbox, which is just, console exclusively on Xbox, which is just kind of crazy to me. And I'm really wondering if they locked up a deal where they just completely shut PlayStation out, kind of like the way No Man's Sky did. It initially came out like it was going to be a multi-plat game. They had the fiasco with the flood, and then it just turned out to be an exclusive on PlayStation. And maybe because the game bombed, we never got an Xbox version as initially planned, but they started out exclusively on PlayStation. I'm wondering if PUBG will now just say to hell with it and go exclusively on Xbox, unless something bad happens, like sales doesn't pick up or sales don't take off.
Yeah, and that's a good point. Like it might be. I really don't know. I still think they're going to try to bring this to PlayStation. I still think so. But when I saw that on the trailer, it raised definitely an eyebrow. Like, that's a little too close. Like, the only way I think it might be able to play that off is like, oh, well, it's launching. And so, coming out like December 12th, it's console exclusive. Because the launch date would be. But it was the way it was framed in the trailer did not give that impression. And they were trying to link that.
And the thing about it is like, like all the assets that they're using, the Sea of Thieves, water is going to be in it, and Azure cloud servers for both PC and Xbox. Like Microsoft is investing a lot in a game that's not exclusively theirs. I'm really starting to believe this thing is truly going to be a console exclusive on the platform. And I don't know how long it's going to be, whether it's a year, whether it's 2 years, if it'll hit PlayStation at all at some point. But with all the investments that they're putting into a game that's a timed game, if it's supposed to be a timed game, I don't see the benefit of why they're doing it. Like, even if you were doing it to give yourself the best version of the game, nobody's going to cross over from PlayStation to hop on the Xbox to play it. They'll just play it on PlayStation, regardless of how bad it is, if it's the worst version. Just like Xbox guys were doing it for the first 3 years when it came to multiplats. We all knew that the Xbox version of those games, though they were still good in quality and good games, they just may not have been as good as the original PlayStation version because of the little bit of, extra power or whatever. But that didn't stop guys from, hey, you know what? I don't want to play this on Xbox. Let me jump over to PlayStation. Well, some idiots did that, but still, some people did. Most people didn't. So I don't see people actually jumping over from PlayStation to Xbox to play the better version. So I truly think that Microsoft may have worked out a deal where they actually finally have exclusivity, at least console wise, obviously, for the game for a pretty long time, I would assume.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
Oh no, I was like, yeah, like, that's the big thing. Like, I don't really know. It's all up in the air about PUBG.
Yeah. So Forza 7 has come out and won sports game, racing game of the year. Now listen, I don't know. I almost feel like if Forza is in that category, it's like an automatic win, even if the game isn't as good as it should be. I'm not knocking Forza 7. I have Forza 7. I haven't even played it yet, honestly. I haven't played a lot of enhanced games because I've been catching up on a ton of stuff. I beat Mass Effect. I'm playing Recore. And boy, do I have a lot to say about Recore. Some things aren't good. Some things aren't good. The funny thing about it is I've been boasting about this game on Twitter like it's the greatest thing ever. And then I finally got to like truly get into the game. And I feel kind of like tired of playing it in a way. You know what I'm saying? I hate to kind of crap on Recore because I think Recore has the potential to be a good game. I just feel like Recore is a chore. And it really is. There are prisms everywhere, bro. Everywhere in this game. This game should be a linear title.
You don't even know.
Linear title, bro.
You missed out on how bad it used to be. Like, I don't know how far you are on the game right now, but like there's a point where I think it's once you get to like to the sands or something like that where the game literally stops and tells you, "Hey, you need to grind out 30 more prisms to continue the game." It's like, oh my god.
I'm up to the point where I just picked up Duncan, so I'm now able to break like
boulders. You're getting close. You're getting close.
I'm breaking boulders and getting stuff in there.
Yeah,
and
like,
go ahead.
Yeah, you're getting close to the same point now. I'm told they patched it so you don't have to actually do the grind anymore because it was that bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it was really bad. Like, up to this point, you had maybe collected 20 prisms, maybe, if I remember correctly. Like you of course, that was like playing some main little spots, doing a little bit of grinding, you're having a good time. But once you got to that point, like it's towards the end of the game, like it just basically stops and says, "Hey, yeah, you need to grind all these prisms before you can continue the story." And it was ridiculous. I quit there. I was like, I'm done. I'm not playing this anymore.
I was so into this game, you know, and I'm like, all right, I could deal with the dungeons and everything like that. And I really like the bosses and how unique they are. Sometimes it's kind of a pain in the butt because of like the added little enemies they put in the game while you're trying to fight this hulking monstrosity and it's trying to kill you. But once I get back into the open world, I just keep looking at this map, man, and I'm just like, these prisms, they're like everywhere. And I have to constantly do this back and forth and get this, and I can't get there because I don't have this robot, and I have to wait. It almost feels like they wanted to make a Metrovania style game, which is usually what is like a Metrovania style game, kind of like a Ori or a Metroid or anything like that, or Castlevania, where you can't go through this door yet because you don't have an ability. So you play a different part of the map until you're able to get that power, then you go back. But those things are like 2D side-scrolling type titles where honestly, a lot of times it doesn't take a lot of time to get from point A to point B. In this game,
yeah,
it's an open world map and it's a desert. The damn thing is like Final Fantasy in the fact that if you walk across the desert, random enemies just pop out of the sand and you're constantly fighting. So not only is it a pain in the butt trying to get to where you need to get to, it's a pain in the butt because the enemies are constantly in your way. So it becomes a chore. And the fact that you're constantly having to get these prisms just to get to the next dungeon or opening up something else. And it's a bit frustrating. I'm trying to grind through it. I'm completely off topic at this point. I'm trying to grind through it.
No. Recore is worth bringing up because like I feel like Recore, it's a solid first entry, mainly because it has a lot of franchise potential. I still stand by that, even after a year later. Like, I want to see more of Jewel. I want to see more of the universe, but just the gameplay needs some work. Like,
The
it's
game, in
kind
my
of like Mass
opinion,
Effect 1. The story in the world's great, but the the gameplay's pretty bad.
the game the game can be great. I just think the game needs to be linear. It doesn't have to be open world. You don't need that many prisms. First of all, the stupidest thing about the game is the fact that they only give you 2 bots. And you have to constantly go back to that home base to get another bot at the worst time. When you're trying to fight something and you need a bot that's like meant to fight this type of enemy because each bot is weak against different enemies, or you need a bot to traverse a certain area, dude, it's absolutely frustrating. Like, okay, now I got to go back and you got to fast travel to home base to get this bot and then try to fast travel back to where you were at. Like, oh my God. Listen, I got to move on because I don't want to make the game sound bad because it's not a bad game. But it's a chore. It really is a chore. It's a lot to do for a game that doesn't have, I don't want to say a lot. It's not saying that it doesn't have a lot as far as story is concerned. It's just that a lot of the story is in like voice activated little recordings and
Yeah,
like
little collectibles.
Yeah, little collectibles. All the story is kind of in there. It doesn't really give you the story in the actual game, except for a few cutscenes here and there. So there's a lot they need to prove on the game, but the potential is there. But back to what we were talking about, Forza 7 won. And I just feel like Forza 7 is like automatic almost in a way. It's almost like, no, yeah, if it's in the competition with anything it's going against, even GT, and it won. And I feel like you have games like 2K18, which every time they get into that competition, they never win. I've never seen 2K18 win. I've never seen Madden win when Forza's in there. Like, Forza needs their own genre. I feel like you cannot put.
Didn't Horizon 3 not win last year or something like that?
Hell no. Horizon won. There's no way Horizon 3 didn't win.
Let me check
Horizon
real quick.
3 won, bro. I don't think 2K18 won. I'm pretty sure if they did lose, I think we had a.
I remember people bringing up about this too. But like the Horizon series never won an award, but the Motorsport series does, which everyone's like, weird. What?
These games need to be in their own. Racing games need to be in their own genre. Like, you get enough racing games every year to where you can have a genre racing. I don't even give a damn if you put Mario Kart in there. You know what I'm saying? If you want to put kart races in there, but the amount of Need for Speeds that come out, the Forzas, you've had Drive Club over the years. You've had Project Cars. You can put PC titles in there, like
not Forza 1.
Forza 1, right?
Yeah. Horizon did win. Okay. Yeah. What the people were talking about the other day? I was like, what?
I just feel like the racing genre needs its own genre, and the sports genre needs its own genre category, because to me it's not fair. Like, I didn't play Madden 18 yet, but the fact that they try to implement some type of single player story where you play the quarterback, I think that's big in the fact that they're trying to not make Madden the same thing. And you can really run with that. I think I had this conversation before. You could really run with that, not with just a quarterback, but a running back or a stud wide receiver or the pass rushing linebacker. Like, you could really develop these type of things yearly and pick a different superstar position and really try to make Madden into something more than just guys playing football, to bring it more to the forefront of just being a rehash that we always talk about. Same thing with 2K, same thing with Live. Like, I think those things should be recognized, not just put in the same category with a Forza and just lose automatically because Forza is that good.
It depends. It really does depend on it, because a lot of these games, like, okay, this year was weird because there were a lot of racing games that came out this year. It's so then, like, okay, yeah, now that was all pretty crowded there. And I don't know, like Madden, 2K, I mean, 2K deserved not to win this year. A lot of people hated 2K this year. So I totally agree with them not getting any sort of award. But I mean, it depends on some of the years. You got the mainstays, yeah. But I mean, I think it serves more as a wake up call to them. Like, you guys got to do something to shake this up. You can't be doing this monotony year after year after year. You got to do something different. Like Madden should have a streak, like an NFL streak. Bring it back and alternate it. Like just do like if you want to play professional football and you want to do like okay, I want to play with my teams. Do it so it's like okay, you got let's say Madden instead of them doing Madden NFL 19. Don't do 19. Just do a Madden NFL straight and be its own side franchise, and just you do a yearly update to the roster for the last Madden game, and so that then like in 2019, in 2019 when Madden NFL 20 comes out, then you just pop out there and say, okay, here it is. Here's the new game. You just basically do it like every other year, but you do an update in between.
Gotcha.
Like then people would feel like it was something new, and so like people who want to play football and like but don't want to do the whole team thing, you can or like do like a professional league. You can actually have people who have fun. Like I would buy Madden NFL if it was like NFL Street. I would buy a football game for that. It would be different. It would be fun. You don't even need a campaign. Just do something different.
Yeah, I feel you. They need to bring back some type of boxing, though. I'm sorry. Like, I need some type of fight night, Evander Holyfield boxing, George Foreman boxing, Mike Tyson, any type of boxing. I don't even care if you got to work with Floyd Mayweather and all the boxers just run around the ring and just dodge punches. I need some type of boxing game in my life. No disrespect to UFC, but it's all about that knockout, man. Oh my God, I used to love Knockout Kings. Where is my boxing at, EA? Step your game up, bring back some boxing. All right, so listen, we're gonna move on because obviously this is the premier podcast for Xbox, and I'm not talking about everybody who won. So listen, VGAs, they did their thing, man. Shout out to the guys, Turn 10 Studio. Shout out to HDR and Microsoft. Basically, those games were exclusive on that platform, and they got big support.
And Jeff Keighley, we definitely got it. We got to give Jeff Keighley more props because he puts this out every year. He does what he can. They actually had games to show this year, not like do actual premieres and such. Like he does a good job, and every year he works his ass off to make a better show. And it's important to give level your criticism towards him because he really does listen. He wants the show to be better every year. And in short, just make the show shorter and spend more time on the awards. That's it. Very
quickly, though, I got to shout out the dude who was either high on life or high on that sticky icky, because when he took over that show, Jeff Keighley's face, and we know Jeff.
You saw him die. You saw him die inside.
You know, I can tell you right now, the things that were going through Jeff Keighley's head when that guy took over the show. Basically for 15 minutes, bro.
Yeah, we're talking about Joseph Fares, by the way, the developer behind Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons and A Way Out. He basically just took over the show. All he was supposed to do was just introduce this little premiere for A Way Out by EA, and he took over the whole thing for like a solid 5 minutes. You
want to talk about? God. You want to talk about jumping off script and knowing the type of person? I don't think people if you've ever met Jeff is a very I don't want to say controlling type.
He's collected.
Right, very collective. Right, exactly. So if they go a certain type of way, and it's kind of like one of those things where this guy comes in and he's talking, and I could just see him internally melting down. And it's so funny because this guy is just going off. Like he's literally going off. He's like, F the Emmys. They try to play me when it came.
F the Oscars. Yeah, everyone says EA's so bad because they tried to F me. It's like, oh my God.
Yo, you literally diss EA and praise EA in the same sentence, bro. It was so out of control. And the amount of confidence he has in his game. And his game was just a small title. It's not even like it's a major AAA title. It's a part of that.
Oh no, he's trying to bring it up there. He's trying to bring it up there. They're treating it like a AAA game. They're treating it like a AAA game. So we'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
It's being developed by the same people who developed that Yarn game. What's the name of that game with the damn Yarn?
No. It's not the same people. It's the guys who did A Tale of Two Sons.
No. I'm not saying that. I'm saying the publisher the guys that's
Yeah.
helping publish it, is that indie. What's it called? It's
That's
like something
EA.
like no. It's an indie company under EA that's publishing it. Haze Light or something like that. I can't remember.
That's his studio. That's his studio.
That's a studio, Haze Light,
Yeah,
whatever
Haze
it's
Light.
called.
That's his studio.
I remember them talking about this last year when they were talking about their new indie initiative, and they were bringing in these small studios, and they had that, which was that Yarny game with the red yarn, and you know what I'm saying, and then they had A Way Out, which was also another indie again under their studios to produce these smaller titles. That's why I'm referring to it, because I remember them talking about they had this new initiative that they were trying to do. But yo, man, I'm interested in the game. The game is co-op is pretty dope. I hope the mechanics play out the way they're supposed to play out, and it looks like it'll be a fun title to mess with. So I'm excited about that. But I'm just probably gonna pick the game up just for the simple fact that the guy just had so much damn confidence. It was just crazy and funny at the same time. All right. So we're going to go ahead and jump on over to PSX. And
it's worth
a lot of people
about.
might not like this. Yeah, I mean, I just want to bring it up for the simple fact that I know a lot of people want Microsoft to come up with some sort type of Xbox experience and stuff like that, where they show off something that will get the fans hype. But I think what I've noticed about Sony over the last couple of months and what I've seen from them, I think is a lot of VR content. Like they're really going all in on VR. And if you aren't buying, and I'm not saying that they don't have games for PlayStation 4, obviously they absolutely do, but a lot of their content, a lot of the games coming out, all these games they got coming out are mostly VR titles. And I'm just not into VR. Like if I have to buy a whole peripheral in order to play these games, I'm not doing it. If they're not both for VR and if they're not both for regular playing in VR, I'm not doing it. I just can't do it. I think that's a bit much. So for me, it's not really impressive. But I mean, I've seen some stuff last night on Twitter. I've seen hashtag Ricky Lake show is greater than the PSX hashtag talk show. I saw Sally Jesse Raphael's better than PSX 2017 hashtag talk show. Like people were really trying to trash the PlayStation experience. And my understanding is that it was better if you were there to actually experience it and play the games than if you were actually watching it.
Well, I'll say this much because I got friends over there on the ground. We got Demi's over there right now. Demi got reviews is doing it for us, and he's over there at PSX, and so we're talking. It's definitely weird because one of the things in particular is this particular event. This one is different than years in the past, namely because they've said this PlayStation experience is not going to be what it was the last 2 years. This is different. It's going back to what it used to be, a little more just more of a fan event. That's kind of it. It wasn't built for these huge announcements. Just the last 2 years have gotten people's expectations way too high. And they told everybody, hey, we're not doing that anymore. They told people specifically, lower your expectations. This is a different setup than before. This isn't what it used to be. But people didn't listen.
Why you would do that. But here's the thing. I don't understand why you would do that. You make the PlayStation experience for the PlayStation fans. This is what this is for. No, let me say something right now. If I have to go to an actual conference to see people talking, especially if I paid for it, I didn't pay for that. I paid to be wowed. You know what I'm saying? Like the PS experience was kind of like one of those things that was supposed to show off all the games that you couldn't see at E3 or some of the smaller titles or let you know what's coming. I think that's what people expect. Instead, they tried to make it a thing where it was like you've kind of more engaging with the developers and engaging with these people, which is what us Xbox fans do regularly anyway, which is just ironic to me because imagine having that conference and us interacting with the people that we already talked to on Twitter on a regular basis. Like, it's just like, dude, we could have did this on Twitter. Why are we here at this event? Like, if you're not showing us any games or you're not trying to wow us or keep us hyped, like, why have us at this conference? So I don't know, man. I don't know what Sony's doing. I wouldn't have this event. I'm not doing a Paris Games Week. I'm not doing Gamescom. I'm doing E3 and I'm doing this event. And maybe
I agree with you. They should have definitely not have even bothered with going to Paris Games Week. That should have not even happened. So by the fact that they had to go to Paris Games Week, and because they told people, they said, hey, this was a big thing, that the Ghost of Tsushima announcement was pulled from that conference.
Mm-hmm.
And like, we know this. And so they say they cannibalized PSX, which one big game announcement like that would have saved the show. Yeah, that would have made it worth it, but they didn't.
The crazy thing about it is that of all the studios that needs it, Microsoft is the one that needs it the most. Like, this is how I truly feel, and how I think Microsoft should do it. I honestly think that what Microsoft should do is they should obviously have their E3. They show off their big titles or whatever. The thing with Microsoft is, and especially at E3, is you also show off a lot of third-party marketing stuff. Or you might show a game that you just got on stage. You know what I'm saying? Like a Metro Exodus. Like, you just happened to see Metro Exodus. You've been talking to the guys. You're good friends with them. And you're like, hey, just let's show this game off for the first time at the Xbox conference. Even if it's not marketed by Microsoft, showing it off at the conference kind of gets people interested, which it actually did. Now, obviously, if you've seen the game at the VGAs, you can tell right off the bat that it is a downgraded title, but it still looks absolutely amazing. But you can see that there's not saying that's a downgrade, because they did say that wasn't actual footage of the game, but it was the engine, one of those type of things. But the game did still look absolutely amazing for what they showed, which probably will be what the game looks like when it releases. But Microsoft needs to have an event where they take maybe one or two games, right, that we don't know about. Nothing we've heard about. We didn't see that E3. You know, we already seen what they did at Gamescom, so I wouldn't expect anything from Gamescom. And they showed like two games, you know, that is early in development, and they kind of have a sit down and explain to us what this one or this other game is about. Like, without showing too much. You could show us the artwork. You could show us the direction that you're going. You could show us some of the things that you really like about the scope of the game or what you're trying to accomplish. And what that does is it doesn't show off all of these games that you got, stuff that you're still trying to hold on to for E3. But it gets people intrigued, even if it's one game. When I look at Scalebound and how Scalebound kept so many people interested for such a long time. It was just one game. It wasn't like they had 55 RPGs from Japan. It was just the one game. If they could do something like that, and they could show off the one game or the two games at a special event and kind of just talk about it and answer fan questions and things like that, I think that's enough. It doesn't have to be a PSX. It just needs to be something that really kind of gets the fans into what they want to present.
Yeah. I think I think Fame was saying something in our chat right now. He's saying that if all we did is like actually just expanded FanFest, that would be great. Where
yeah, but the thing
the thing with FanFest though is that it doesn't have to be a show per se. It just has to be something where the fans can actually go there and they don't have to travel all the way to California again and get to mill around with people, maybe have an announcement or two, just small little stuff, just something small. Like it's like people don't realize this. Again, PSX is not designed to be for the big AAA mass consumer market. It's supposed to be about the fans. People have been with PlayStation for 20 years. Like that is the whole goal. It's about keeping the fan base happy, and that's what the whole entire purpose was. But like
That's what
with
Microsoft
Xbox
needs to
though,
do, in my opinion.
I mean, this is a
Like
definite
FanFest is
concern.
cool. I think FanFest is cool and everything like that. It's great because you meet people, you're doing giveaways and stuff like that. But I don't know if FanFest is the right setting because you're traveling. It's a lot of traveling and you're doing it different places. And we don't even have a FanFest in Florida, like Orlando of all places, or like an event. Like they might go to New York, but they need to have something at least in Florida. Some of the big major cities, like maybe Charlotte, obviously New York, like they really need to hit the East Coast a little bit more instead of having us traveling to the West Coast so much because that's where their home state is in Seattle. I just feel like the East and South deserve a little bit more recognition and as far as those events are concerned. But I still think they need to have some type of event where they show off a game.
With the FanFest though, what I would propose if like for Xbox FanFest having their own little event. Like, go ahead and keep doing E3 and your regular shows on the West Coast. Do something on the East Coast, though. Kind of like pick somewhere in the middle, like maybe not DC or somewhere like, somewhere kind of in that area where it's like, okay, it's a big enough town to support enough of everybody going there, but have a good convention center. Basically, everyone shows up, and basically you take all the side stuff out of E3 that's not like a major game announcement or like, okay, like let's say using last E3 as an example. Basically, take anything that was like, okay, State of Decay, Sea of Thieves, anything that was like, a double A or higher, you keep that at E3. But then you just take all the little stuff, like the Voodoo Vince and like stuff, you save that for FanFest. Phantom Dust being free, like a free little thing, you save that for FanFest. You basically just go through and say, like, okay, this is all the little stuff. Like, okay, like the Avatar overhaul, save that for FanFest. That's the thing most people don't care about.
Yeah, but you want to have things that people care about. Like I feel like if they did, like again, FanFest is great, but if you do it a FanFest, or like somebody suggested in the chat, Xbox Direct. But you do the Xbox Direct, you do this one event where you show off a title, or you show off, like you said, like a Voodoo Vince or something like that. But let's pick something else besides Voodoo Vince because I hate Voodoo Vince. I hate the fact that they brought that game back, bro. I hate that game so much because they brought that back up besides something else. But it's just the point that to me, Microsoft has to dig deep. They got a lot of IPs people want to bring back. Why they're ignoring the fans, I don't know. I truly hope that they're investing in studios bringing back some of those IPs that fans want to see, especially some IPs from Rare. And I truly hope that they are investing in new IP, which obviously we've heard about, and that their games that they put out, they put a better effort in and don't rush the product. And please don't implement multiplayer in everything. To have multiplayer. This is Microsoft's downfall in a lot of their games. They always feel like they have to put multiplayer in it for it to be successful. I think Quantum Break would have been successful even without multiplayer if they didn't implement the TV aspect to it and took more time with the actual game and its mechanics, which is one of the reasons why so many people griped about the game. But it has potential, and that's a good thing if they want to continue it because they own the IP. So we'll see what happens. I don't know exactly what direction they're going to be going. I'm going to try to reach out to Phil Spencer to see if I could get a Q&A with him. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to get him on the show. I've been trying my best to get him on the show. The man is like the VP of freaking the video game division now. So he's way above our pay grade. But if I can get a Q&A with him and get it up on TICGN, and get him to answer a few questions, I will definitely have a show where I kind of talk about what he responded to and kind of analyze some of his answers if he accepts the Q&A. So we'll try to do that early next year. We're definitely going to have Craig Duncan on the show, and we're definitely going to get Jeff Keighley on the show in January to start off the year right and get back to what we do, get these dev interviews going once again for the fans out there that love on the red carpet. We're going to try to get back to what we used to do. So moving on, because it is getting late. Okay. Early, I just want to talk about real quick. Early quarter for Xbox is looking really good, in my opinion. I said this on Twitter. Sea of Thieves is going to be, I guess, a double conversation because Sea of Thieves is the last one. But Sea of Thieves comes out March 20th, which is in the first quarter of the year, which is great.
My
it's birthday. A big title. Yeah, big title for Microsoft. We are actually, once again, doing a Sea of Thieves giveaway. This is going to be a joint venture between Multiverse Podcast and Double XP with the big homie Fame Entertainment, and obviously Anchorman V. We're going to be giving away a free copy of Sea of Thieves, retailing at $59.99, and the Sea of Thieves official custom controller. If you've seen this controller, this thing is bad. It's pretty dope. I have to admit myself, I'm really into it. I'm trying to see if I can get a free one. They could hook a brother up.
Oh, come on. Pay up. Pay up for it, man. It's not that expensive. It's only $10 more.
When you got connects, you got to use them. You don't just let your connects just, sit by the wayside, man. If you can get something.
Yo, man,
take advantage of it.
Nah, there's some people I respect to the point where I don't care. I won't abuse them for a Connect. I got Connects at Bethesda, but I bought 4 copies of Fallout 4.
I have no respect for anybody. Give it to me for free. I got kids, goddammit. These kids are expensive.
No, I will say that is a really hot controller because I'm very picky when it comes to the controllers. I don't like a flashy looking one where it's like, oh, look at the controller more than the game. I can't stand that. It's got to be that perfect middle ground of unassuming but also intriguing, and this is the controller for that. The only change I would have to it, this is something a lot of custom controllers don't do, is keep the colors for the buttons that you have, like what you would have normally, like yellow for the Y button and the green for the A button, whatever. Yeah, keep those colors, but a lot of people just mute it and make it a general color, and I'll let that slide, but it's a personal annoyance of mine. But other than that, fire controller looks amazing.
Yeah, without question. So listen, first quarter for Microsoft is looking real nice, man. Listen, I'm not trying to make it a competition. Some people may not be into what Microsoft got coming out. But listen, my understanding, Monster Hunter comes out in January. The fact that Monster Hunter on Xbox to me is a big deal. I am so excited and so hyped for this game to the point that I'm out here recruiting squads early. So if you're into Monster Hunter, and if you're in the Black Desert, which I also heard is supposed to be dropping in the early half of 2018 on the Xbox, it is going to be a console exclusive via preview. You're going to join the KOR Clan Club, and we're getting a guild together now for both Black Desert and squads together for Monster Hunter. But with that being said.
No, wait, real quick, before we get into that, I wanted to say, with Monster Hunter in particular, you guys got to know, for those of you that have not played Monster Hunter or don't play JRPGs regularly, all right, there's going to be no beta on the Xbox. So if you have no idea what you're getting into, I'll give you the breakdown. I don't really play a lot of JRPGs or any really, but at least on this front, I played the beta on PlayStation, so I'm going to report back to you guys about what you're getting into here.
Listen,
this game is confusing as hell. There's a lot. The HUD's really cluttered right now. There's a lot of systems getting involved. This is going to be a commitment. Like you got to know what you're getting into, but it's fun. It's definitely fun.
I've never played a Monster Hunter in my entire life, but I have years of experience in RPGs. You understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about hyperbolic time chamber experience when it comes to RPGs, JRPGs, and Western RPGs. So I'm not afraid of Monster Hunter. I can't wait to get my hands on this game. I'm so excited for this game. I'm like losing it. I'm watching trailers for it.
But I'm talking about normal people here, Cal. I'm talking about normal people.
No one in this chat is
superhuman.
Nobody here is normal. Okay? Tech fans are the greatest Xbox gamers in the world. Okay? Why would they go anywhere else? That's the reason why they're here tonight, because they're the best gamers on both Xbox, PlayStation, any console. We only mess with the best, and only the best mess with us. So we're talking about some other people out there that's on Twitter that just be popping a bunch of crap, don't know what they're talking about. Monster Hunter These guys out here are not worried about Monster Hunter. Well, I'm not worried about Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter is about to be so fire and flame, it's going to be out of control. Now, Black Desert looks sick. Okay, I've been following this game and watching this game. You already know what I'm going to be. A ninja, because I was looking at everything. And I hate to be sexist, but I don't like to play female characters. I don't know why that is. I refuse to do it. I remember playing Final Fantasy 11 for the first time. And me and my homeboy, this is stupid back in the day. It was like PlayStation 2. We had did we buy it for PC? Yeah, we bought it for PC because we didn't want to play dial-up on a PS2 with that brick modem that you would screw on the back of the PS2 and at the time. So it was kind of funny when I think about it. But we had it on PC. And I remember one of my homeboys walking up to me, and he was a female cat. And for 24 hours, me and my boy were trying to figure out why is he a female cat? Like, I never understand dudes who play females. It's just awkward to me because you're a female, you know what I'm saying, in the game. And it'd be weird when it's like guys, they think other female characters are playing. They think they're females on the other side, but it'd be other dudes and they be talking to them, man. It's just funny to me. I don't know. Not me. I can't.
I don't have an issue with playing as a female. I guess, but my thing is like, if it's supposed to be like a power fantasy of like, oh, let me put myself in the game. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna play I'll play as a dude. But
what about homeboy says something similar to that?
But I mean, if it's a power fantasy of like, okay, it's supposed to be me in the role playing my person. Like I have a female character named Roxanne on one of my Fallout saves, and like she's my modded character. But like I do it so I can see what's different with the world. I play everything a little bit differently. Well, because part of the thing is like with the modding community, they love women a lot more than men when it comes to like modded assets and stuff. So you get like this way cooler outfits and stuff you can put on your character and other just things you just can't do with a male character, unfortunately. But
he said, I made myself a female character because I always said to myself, if I ever get transported into the game, I'd rather be a female than a male. And I stopped. I stopped at that point because I'm like, why? Like, why? He's like, because I get to look at. I said, dude. You're a dude. Mentally, you're a dude. You understand that? If you're trapped in a game with other dudes, they're going to be trying to hit on you and get with you. Do you understand that concept? Why would you want to be trapped in a female's body when you're a dude on the inside? Like, that's just weird to me. I'll never understand that concept. This is definitely getting way out of control. But I'm just saying, I just found it funny. It's just one of those things. But anyway, so yeah, man, I plan to be a ninja in Black Desert. There's like 12 characters right now. 7 of them are female, 5 of them are male. And the ninja to me is just all the characters are badass, without question. Even some of the female characters. But I can't put myself in those shoes. So it was either between the Musa, which was like this character that wields this staff with a blade at the end, and like it goes on fire, so badass the way the guy moves in and out. But the ninja, bro, the dude teleports behind you. And he can slash you for crazy crit attack. And then he runs like he's in Naruto and teleports left to right, bro. It's too epic. I can't pass it up. It's too fire. I got to learn to be the ninja. So Black Desert is going to be huge for me. I can't wait to get my hands on that game. And Sea of Thieves comes out in March. I'm like, the first quarter for Microsoft is looking real nice right now. Monster Hunter, Black Desert, Sea of Thieves. Who knows what else they got coming out, smaller titles wise or third party wise. We still don't know. There's more stuff to be announced. So, man, I'm really liking what they're doing right now, at least early in 2018 for Xbox.
So you got to understand here, guys. Cal's basically a rogue. But every game he plays a rogue.
Facts.
If we're talking about Destiny, he's playing Hunter.
Facts.
He's a squishy Hunter.
First of all, I'm
a paladin tank kind of dude, and B Money is like a warlock, a sorcerer, wizard kind of guy. Like, this is just how we are.
For me, I'm all about, like, even when I play, I don't know what it is, man. Like, me and my homeboys hit me up. He's like, dude, I don't know what to do. He's playing Knights of the Old Republic for the first time. And I'm like, dude, obviously, you're going to be a Jedi or Sith. Dexterity, dexterity, dexterity. That's what I'm all about. Like, if you're a rogue, dexterity is what it's all about, bro. You don't get hit. My whole thing is don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to have heavy armor on and be slow and be bogged down, taking mad damage. I don't want to get hit. You will never touch me. And I want to do massive damage and a massive crit. That's why I love being a rogue character. Like in Winter, what's that game? Neverwinter. And Neverwinter was crazy. I used to be the rogue. I would cloak, come out, hit you with one of those damaging rib shots, like you spin around in a circle, stab somebody, thrown out of smoke, have you stuck in place and start wailing on you, then disappear again. Yo, dude, I was epic in Neverwinter. So rogue is, I'm all about that. Like you said, I'm all about that rogue type, heavy crit, heavy DPS type character, but I'm not trying to get hit, bro. Like, you're missing me. I'm teleporting away.
Cal's not about confrontation. He can't stand being the center of attention, unlike me. I'm like, I'm Reinhardt. You give me a giant hammer, we're going in. Like, that's it. That's how we play.
Yeah, man. Love it. But listen, yeah, I love the assassin. Exactly. Like, I'm the assassin type of dude. Come up behind you, stab you in the back, get crit shots, stealth shots. Pause. That's what I'm all about. But yeah, so first quarter for Microsoft was looking real nice. At least in my opinion, it's looking real nice. Now I heard God of War is coming out early. Like a few days after.
Apparently not.
No.
So this is one of the things also we heard about PSX. So I got dudes on the ground giving me the info, which I will relay back to you. So apparently there was a rumor / leak that came out last week that said that they were going to have God of War, and it was going to come out on March the 22nd. Now, that date's important because that would be the anniversary of, I think it's God of War 3. And it was like, okay, that works. March, that's traditional. Understandable. Good release dates. Problem with that is that it's a Thursday. And their idea was, oh, it's Thursday, Thor's Day. Haha, look, it's Norse related. The problem is games don't normally release on Thursdays. Games release on Tuesdays or Fridays. They don't release on Thursday. Don't know why. They just don't. And so that's I kept saying that doesn't sound believable. That doesn't sound right. Because of that one thing, that sounds like a fan-made rumor. And the thing that's sealing the deal for me is the guys at PSX, the keynote that they had last night, they did not give a release date. They just said spring 2018. Again, they gave no release date. We're sitting here 3 months away. We still don't know the release date. If it's coming out in March, we still don't know. That's concerning. And not just that, it's not playable at PSX.
Listen, there's a lot of things happen at PSX, and not PSX, at the VGAs and the PSX, I guess you could say. Can I just say something about the Death Stranding trailer? Okay.
This trailer, utmost respect to Kojima for using that money.
First, listen, Kojima definitely used that bread, bro. Game was about. That game had me in awe and confused the whole time. You know, at first I was like, you know what? This looks pretty hot. Invisible men slaughtering you, black goop dragging you in the ground. You got to kill yourself because you don't want to be obviously taken by these things while you're alive. You know, all of a sudden it goes from like 5 people standing in a circle to a giant in the ground being pulled up, then water, then a baby in a bag, and then the baby's in his body when he wakes.
Throat baby.
You want to talk about confusion? Confusion? That's way worse than anything Metal Gear's ever done. That's like 10 times worse than anything Metal Gear's ever done, as far as being confusing. And then Sony has the nerve to come out to say it's going to take about 4 to 5 hours for you to understand what's actually happening in the game.
Yeah, Andrew House said that after 5 hours of gameplay, you'll understand what's going on. Like,
are you insane?
Oh,
like who wants to play a game that long? Oh,
not just that, but when he said, "Oh," Kojima said, instead of me actually going to like meet with other publishers, because I had other offers, instead of me going to meet with other publishers about making a deal for this game, instead I just went over. I talked to Andrew House for 3 minutes and they greenlit it, and they didn't even ask for a revenue report. So they literally just gave him a blank check, and hey, more power to Kojima, man. If someone's willing to pay you to make up crazy, insane cinematic trailers, go for it. I have no problems with that.
It's crazy.
I mean, hey, if it's their money, they want to use it this way.
That game about to be like 15 minutes and like 35 hours worth of cinematic experience. It was exactly what that game was going to be. He even said that a lot of the game wasn't even gameplay. It was like most of it was just cinematic experiences happening with like a little bit of gameplay here and there. Probably like little things like hold the gun, press right trigger or something like that.
I heard the only part that was supposedly gameplay so far from dudes on the ground who are saying they've played it is whenever he goes underwater, and that's supposedly gameplay for all of like 5 seconds.
It's terrible. It's just terrible. This is what, listen, no disrespect to the PlayStation fan. Shout out to my man Cobra. Shout out to Cobra. No disrespect to the PlayStation fan, but listen, this is what the weirdos want, man. They want this craziness, man, because I don't know. I'm not saying it's like I'm not saying it won't be a good game. It's Kojima. Kojima's gonna make a good, solid game. I'm just saying it's a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? That's what the weirdos want out there on PlayStation. That's what the weirdos get. That's just how it is. Everything else looked hot though, especially that Ghost of Tsushima game looks pretty dope. Sucker Punch got something
Medieval,
special.
baby. Medieval. I was actually excited for Medieval. They caught me off guard by that.
I wish I had a camera so you could see my face right now. And you can see.
No, you got to understand. Medieval was like the forbidden fruit for me growing up. You got to understand that, because I had PlayStation 1 was the first console I ever owned. Namely because video games were banned for me when I was growing up. So like that was the first one I could get. And the buddy of mine who sold me the console, like he gave me a copy of Medieval, and it was fun because my parents were like super fundamentalists, and so I put it in, I started playing it, I was having a good time, and they saw there's a skeleton in this, it's the devil, and they took it away. And so every so often I get it back and play for a little bit, then they'd find it and get rid of it again. And then I moved on to GameCube, and it was all over.
Man, Medieval. Man, they could have did better. They could have did anything other than if they would have came out and been like, and he was wearing something like Legend of Dragoon. Oh my God, I would have lost it.
No, I will say, like how he did that reveal was really dumb. Because like he was hiding his shirt. We knew he was gonna show off the shirt at some point. We're like, okay, yeah. And then he shows the shirt. Everyone's like, what is that? Like no one knows what this is, and he had to come out and say what it was for people like, oh, Medieval, okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, they could have did anything though. They could have did Tenchu. They could have did Night. What's the name of that game? Nightmare something. It was a horror game back in the day. I thought was pretty dope. They could have did Siphon Filter, Legend of Dragoon. They could have did a ton of games from, the PS2 era. You know what I'm saying? Nah, they chose. Not even that they chose Medieval, they're not even remaking the game. They're remastering it. Sony is like the king of reselling you stuff that you already have. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at least with Microsoft, you got the BC. So if you got the game, you just pop the disc in and you play it. Or if it's available to purchase, it's stupid cheap. You know what I'm saying? Like, PS2 disc, like, I don't know, man. It's just not my cup of tea. I really hope that Sony, with the PS5, goes full backwards compatibility from Gen 1 for them all the way up to 4. And you can have an entire library. They would kill it. If they did that, like they truly would kill it just because of that PS2 library alone. But man, I can't see it. I just feel like they see themselves making money. The PlayStation fans are buying remastered games of old games, even though they kill Xbox guys for playing old games. They're buying these remastered games, as Sony sees it, and they constantly continue to do it. To me in itself. So I don't know, man. Just a weird situation, but it is what it is, and not much else could do it. Exactly, Chris. Medieval is PlayStation's Voodoo Vince. Exactly.
Quite literally, but yeah, quite literally. So it's an undead. So it's different.
Yeah. So listen, man. Again, first quarter for Microsoft looking pretty good to me. Again, I have to. Monster Hunter being on Xbox to me is a big deal. Black Desert is supposed to be released in the first quarter. I'm a big MMO guy, so I'm looking forward to that game as well. If you're interested in hanging out with me and the crew, I'm gonna try to get everybody grouped up. The Channel 5 guys, the Tick guys, the Multiverse guys, whoever's getting Monster Hunter and Black Desert. I'm trying to get us all in one team, one crew, all grouped together to play.
Sorry to tell you, I'm getting on a PlayStation.
You're getting Monster Hunter on PlayStation?
Yeah, I've been recruited beforehand. You took too long.
Oh my God, that's just blasphemy. Listen,
we're going to be putting out
a flyer hire for Tick Podcast because obviously this guy doesn't want to be a part of the premiere podcast for Xbox.
I don't play that much on PlayStation, honestly. So this will be the first multi-plat game I'll have bought for PlayStation.
Yourself. You didn't have to let Xbox fans know you were buying Monster Hunter. Listen, this is why
you
I'm
were
the last
recruiting me, though. You were recruiting me. Hey, you got a PlayStation before I did.
I didn't purchase my PlayStation. Shout out to J-Dub.
I didn't either.
J-Dub is a huge fan of Tick Podcast. He's a PlayStation guy. He trolls the Xbox guys, but respects Tick, and I was lucky enough, and he respects me enough and cares about the show enough to buy me a PS4 Pro. That's huge, and I'm very appreciative of that. And I play the PlayStation and everything like that. But listen, I'm an Xbox diehard guy, not because I don't like PlayStation. Just all my friends are on Xbox. My clan, the clubs are on Xbox, and now I got the Xbox One X. Dude, I'm gonna take advantage of it. It says enhanced on Monster Hunter. There's no way I'm passing up probably a native 4K game for a non-native 4K game on the PS4 Pro.
Hey, if you want to buy my loyalty, hey, game gifting's a thing on Xbox. So
I refuse. The House of L does not buy loyalty. Either you join the Justice League or you go join.
We'll consider it back pay.
No, whatever. So so we're gonna have the CFDs group and we're gonna have the Black Desert group. If you're interested, make sure you hit us up on KOR Clan. And you can look it up. That's the club that we have, KOR Clan, and we're recruiting hard for those upcoming games, as well as Sea of Thieves, which comes out March 20th. And we're doing the Sea of Thieves giveaway for those who showed up late. Sign up for the Sea of Thieves giveaway. We're giving away the actual game, and we're giving away the actual controller to go along with it. And that's in collaboration Works Multiverse Podcast and 2XP Podcast. Those are some really good guys. So keep an eye out for that. Head on TICGN.com to sign up for it. With that being said, man, listen, we're going to go ahead and end the show. It's late. And I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Make sure you give us a thumbs up. We really appreciate the support and everybody stopping out. I did this show with one ear. By the way, I still can't hear on my left ear. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully I can get that fixed. And we will be back next week with another episode of Tick Podcast. I think next week is the last episode for the year, right?
What for Tick Podcast? No, we got one more. We
have another.
We got the 16th. 16th is our last show.
Yeah, that's next week, ain't it?
Yeah, next week. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next week will be the last show for Tick Podcast and all of Tick Network. Obviously, we don't want to have any shows during Christmas or anything like that. We want people to enjoy their holiday, and we'll return in January with some really awesome stuff. Hopefully, we have these events, these shows, and these interviews lined up for you guys, and you guys are really excited to see what we're doing coming up. Make sure, again, you go to TICGN.com to sign up for the CFD's game and controller giveaway. And make sure you tune in to Tick Network to hear the hottest podcasts on the net. I'll be updating all of our podcasts for Tick Podcasts and Super Pod Shots, which I haven't done in God knows how long, on the Tick podcast MP3, which is on iTunes, Google Play, as well as a ton of other MP3 apps. So if you want to listen to us on the go, you can download us from Apple or you can download us from Google and be able to check us out. Anything on your mind, Anchor, before we head out of here?
Oh, no, not really.
All right.
Pretty straightforward.
So once again, man, I want to thank everybody for stopping out. Really appreciate it. We will definitely do a Q&A on our next episode and that's it. So I'm your host, Kelroy S. Kal-El, the last son of Planet Xbox, for Anchorman V and Shad, the B Money 101. Hopefully we'll get them on next week, and we are off this planet. You guys have a great night. Peace.